When you look around, you see Rome is burning at 47. There are wildfires in Greece. We recently saw what happened in Himachal Pradesh, closer to home, the landslide in Raigad. Loss of life is absolutely the most tragic aspect, of all of this climate change. There's some data that suggests the amount of heat that our planet is releasing. Does anyone have any idea how much of heat are we releasing today? It's equivalent to 5 Hiroshima bombs per second. 5 Hiroshima bombs per second. And all this heat is absorbed by our oceans per second. 90% of this heat has to be absorbed by our oceans, and that's why the term our oceans are warming. And that's why 1.5 degree or 2 degree, whatever that, the temperatures have risen. And all this has happened in the last 25 years. So when you think of it, it's pretty much during our lifetime that all this damage has happened. The question is, what are we going to do about it? What can we do about it? What are we doing about it? To answer this, there's something known as a circular economy. So what do I mean by a circular economy? It's about identifying waste which has the potential to be converted to energy to a cost-efficient and energy-efficient manner. And I'm going to come back to that energy-efficient manner in a bit, because somehow, what ends up happening is we try to solve one problem and we end up with another. So there's a lot of discussion on renewable fuel and renewable energy, but somewhere you see that solar parks are just occupying fields, cultivable fields, and then you have a food problem. Biofuels consume a lot of water, and then you have a water problem. So I had the opportunity to be in Goa just last week to attend the G20 Biofuel Summit. And there's a whole lot of work that is happening all across the globe because this problem is for real. Projects like green hydrogen, green ammonia, green methanol, these are all big scale projects, and I think it's probably the big boys in the room who can do it. So what about small business owners? The circular economy concept, a bit about Unicorn, a bit about what we do. Our bread and butter is textile oil. But when I was pursuing my MBA in the US, I happened to see these road tankers with used cooking oil written on it. And the desi in me, I said, Kar kya rahe? What is this used cooking oil tanker going around Miami, going around New York? I dug deeper into it. And these guys actually go to restaurants, go to hotels, collect this used cooking oil and convert into biofuel. I said, why can't we do this in India? And believe me, it took me 2 years to just get an appointment with one of the biggest QSRs in the country. Once I got the appointment, they were not convinced. I said, your parent company in the US is doing it. So why can't we do it here in India? Supply chain issue, pata nahi sir, dekhte hain. I said, no, you give it a trial. Let's start with one city. Give me any one city that you can think of, and I will develop a supply chain. I will collect this used cooking oil, and I have the technology. How do I have the technology? Well, my father's a chemical engineer. I am an engineer too. So the classic Indian jugaad. We'll find out. It's not rocket science. And we started this in 2015. And today we are one of the largest used cooking oil collectors and converters to biodiesel. Thank you. So, when you look at the impact that this waste oil, waste vegetable oil or waste oils, what is happening in India? It's simply being dumped into the drains, which is clogging our drains. And then we complain about flooding, we complain about all the issues that happen here. Now comes the raw material. You have the technology. Now what is the biggest challenge? Anyone? The biggest challenge is who to sell. And now I have this product. And this is how you learn as you develop a business. I used to go to prospective customers and I say, sir, mera product zero carbon residue, zero sulfur, zero particulate matter hai. High cetane number. High cetane means good combustion. सिद्धार्थ भाई वो सब तो छोड़ो यार, डीजल से कितना सस्ता है पहले वो बोलो. And I used to get so annoyed. I said, सर आपके फ्यूचर जनरेशन के बारे में सोचो. अरे वो ठीक है, वो बच्चा देख लेगा अपना. This was in 2015, 2016. But I see that change now. Those same guys who resisted to buying that product are today really looking out, because as we have all seen, 5 years back or 7 years back, pollution was always there, but it's become a more serious concern now. Landslides, cloud bursts, loss of lives, just rivers overflowing. And I think somewhere collectively, humans have realized that we've effed up enough. So let's take a step back, or maybe 2 or maybe 10, and try to use the money that we have, to do something good, to buy a product which has 75% lesser greenhouse gas emissions. So that's one part of the biofuel story. There's a lot of talk on ethanol. Now, I'll give you my 2 bits about ethanol. Apparently it's a farmer-driven program. But if you ask me, 1 liter of ethanol consumes how many liters of water to be produced? Just give me a random number, anyone. It's between 11 to 100. So to make 1 liter of ethanol, you're going to consume 100 liters of water. You're basically valuing water at zero. So you realize how we are moving to the next problem? We are solving one, but we're moving to another. There's biogas. There's the parali burning issue you have in Punjab and Delhi. So there's a lot of collection of parali happening around Punjab, around Haryana. But now you are setting up refineries and using up all this water to convert that parali to biofuel. But you are also denying the agricultural fields their water. So somewhere, when you think about the circular economy concept, you need to have a cradle to grave kind of thinking, that what are you doing? What impact is this going to have? Having said that, I think there's a ton amount of work that is happening across India. And I must say, irrespective of which political party you like, the government of the day has done a fantastic job in the renewable energy space. I think no one can deny that. There's a ton of opportunity there. There's a ton of feedstocks out there. So for those of us who are really looking to get into the renewable energy space, identify the feedstock, the technology, and the market. I think the market is matured now. The market wasn't there 10 years ago or even 5, but today the market is very much there. Thank you.